Hey guys, Island Turtle here. Welcome to BOMISpirit. This is the weekly intuitive astrology reading for October 2nd to October 8th. This is my third or fourth time trying to record this. So just a heads up, especially for those guys who are new, I'm a little that today and the last couple of days a little mucusy, a little nasally, a little coffee. So just, bear with me as I'm going through this. But anyway, welcome. So this is going to be from October 2nd to October 8th. I don't know if I mentioned that. We're going to go ahead and get into the astrology of the week. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on it and also mention anything that I have channeled or intuited about the astrology of the week. And then we're going to go ahead and do messages and cards. Can't talk today, for the collective and the elements as well. Okay? Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Now, let me do a little timestamp for this because, it's always nice to have. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into the astrology. So this is going to be a very interesting week. I feel like this is going to be a week of the beginning of shifts, the next round of shifts, especially as it relates to the eclipse season. Excuse me. This week, Mercury is moving into Libra. Lilith and Venus are both moving into Virgo, which means they are both aspecting Regulus, the fixed star. We're going to talk a little bit about that too. And the moon this week is shifting from Gemini to Cancer to Leo. Now, for some of us, the moon is going to start in Taurus at the beginning of the week. I wouldn't get too hung up on that, right? It's like the signs are neighbors for a reason. They're neighbors, neighboring signs have similarities and skills in common, and they usually gift something to the next sign. So even if you're thinking, oh, it's in Taurus versus Gemini, there are similarities to both signs. But anyway, for the sake of discussion, the moon is shifting from Gemini to Cancer to Leo. Now, we still have a lot of Leo energy and Aries energy that we're dealing with because of Venus, because of Juno, because of the North Node, and because of Eris. And I do feel like I'm missing one in there, but those are the main ones that are coming to mind. All that fire energy is going to be supported by Moon in Gemini and Moon in Leo. The Moon in Cancer, not going to really enjoy that too much. Kind of. I feel like the middle of the week is going to feel a little dense, maybe a little emotional. I kept getting this feeling about the week where we're going to start it in kind of this high, a little bit of this almost erratic, actually, kind of energy, maybe even potentially a little scattered and restless of, I want to do this and I want to do that, and I want to be adventurous and I want to try new things, I want to learn new things, and I want to be independent and I want to do things on my own terms. So when it comes to relationships, depending on what kind of relationships we're talking about and what kind of dynamics we're talking about, right? And whatever your issues in certain relationships are, if you have very independent, autonomous relationships or interdependent relationships, it's probably going to be a very interesting week, a very fun week where you can actually add some new elements to your relationships. Now, if you have relationships that are a little bit more in the codependent realm, or there's something unhealthy or distorted about them, they're mentioning power struggles. Okay, I forgot about all the Pluto activity, but we're going to talk about all of it. Or relationships where there's a lot of competition or power struggles, like to which one's the more dominant one in the relationship, whether it's family, romance, work, friends, whatever, that will come to a head, and there will probably be some major shifts and changes in order to facilitate more independence. So that's kind of what I was feeling at the beginning of the week, like just erratic, like I got to get out of here. I got to do me sort of vibe. And then it's almost like we hit an ebb in the middle of the week. And there's a couple of astrological reasons as to why I think that is. But I think that moon in Cancer is going to really want us to sit and reflect. We also have the last quarter moon in Cancer, I think on the 6th. Yeah. So last quarter moon's also in Cancer at the same time. So in the middle of the week, if you're feeling lonely or kind of sad, if you feel like you pushed people away, or you're wondering if people even care about you at all, that's going to be some stuff that comes up in the middle of the week. There may also be some issues around money that come up in the middle of the week. Just restriction is the word that's coming to mind. Like almost like a Five of Pentacles energy, like feeling alone or feeling kind of stuck or feeling kind of strapped. It was kind of like strapped down emotionally or strapped down materially is kind of how it was coming through. Don't be shocked if that happens in the middle of the week, but I think it's actually a good thing because it's going to force us to go within, right? It's going to force us to reflect on some things. And then the moon's going to shift into Leo and support all that fiery energy, right? And to the max, right? Because a lot of that is in Leo, right? And then the other is Aries. And I feel like it's going to be this week of maybe being a little extreme in our craving independence and rebellion and excitement and new and break the rules and blah 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 blah, and then almost like a crash landing of being forced to sit with the self, and also sit with any consequences of some of the actions we've taken under that energy, to come back to the moon and Leo and almost like get a little bit of life again and remember the excitement that we were craving, but we're just coming out of that reflection, right? Especially in Cancer, it's like that's all about emotional intimacy and emotional stability and security and tribe and family and domestic life and relationships and all that stuff. So I feel like by the end of the week, it's actually going to help us to really discern how to balance our passion, our independence, and our devotion. However that comes up in your life. But those three things were like jumping out a lot as I was doing my notes. Passion, devotion, independence. Passion, devotion, independence. Passion, devotion, independence. That might just be the title of the week. Hold on a second. Independence. I just don't want to forget. Okay? So, that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the more detailed astrology. Actually, I'll do a timestamp for that too, because some of you guys just want the blow by blow, and some of y'all want the details. Actually, before we get into detailed astrology, just really quickly, something I was noticing this week, like certain themes for the signs already. So we'll see if that comes out in the elements. Excuse me, not signs, elements. But signs too. I digress. I was seeing certain themes for the elements already. We'll see if they come through in the elemental reads. But hold on, let me look at my notes. Yeah, earth signs. So earth signs, I think particularly because we have Mercury sitting in Virgo and then it shifts to Libra, and then Venus and Lilith join Virgo, and Orcus is still in Virgo working with Jupiter. There's a lot of emphasis on Virgo and Taurus, Uranus being in Taurus as well, and also aspecting some things. And then Pluto is also active in Capricorn. So anyway, earth signs, you got a lot of activity yourself going on this week too. But what I was getting from my earth signs, it almost seems like there's potential to really shift your perspective here. Like, how do I want to say? Almost like eagle's eye. They're saying eagle and hawk. So eagle and hawks might be significant for my earth signs, but like eagle hawk eye sort of vibes. Hold on a second. This should be a timestamp. Sorry, can't help myself. Okay. Yeah, earth signs. It seems like you're getting a bird's eye view. We'll say it that way. That you're getting a bird's eye view this week of the choices you've made and what it's led you to at this present moment in time, and if any of that actually still aligns with you or not. Like, that's what it feels like to me, like almost like you're going to be an air energy a little bit. That mercurial energy just really jumps out a lot. And then Regulus, right? Oh, I didn't talk about Regulus. I'll talk about it later. But anyway, well, okay, I'll mention it here because I think it does actually pertain to you because it is sitting at early degrees Virgo. Regulus is a fixed star, and it's actually one of the archangel stars. It represents Archangel Raphael. There's so much to talk about with Regulus and the archangel stars, but just know that Regulus is important. It's often seen as, it has a lot of different names that kind of say the same thing, like the prince, the king, the yellowtail emperor, like all these like different names that really represent regality and also authority, right? But it also is very much Leo, that integrity of the heart, but also integrity of your own authority and power and how you yield that or wield that. That doesn't feel like a word for some reason, but that's just what came through. So anyway, Virgo, excuse me. See, Virgo, you're going to be way more emphasized than Taurus and Capricorn. But earth signs, this is about getting a bird's eye view for you this week on your personal reality, how it came to this point, and realizing how some of your own beliefs or some of your decision-making motivations, thank you, your motivations may be changing this week or may need to change. And also when we have the full moon in Taurus, you're going to be very impacted by that as well. And that might even play into the change in your motivations and how you want to change your reality accordingly. So, and that'll spill over into other things, right? Like work, relationships, home, health, all the things, relationship with self even. I just wanted to feel this out for you for a second. Yeah, earth signs, your priorities are about to change. Your priorities are about to change to really, I want to say, anchor in your sense of power, how you're sitting in your power, and even how you're sitting in your own sense of security. And it does feel financial to me, actually. Relationships might actually take a back seat for some of my earth signs. But this is more speaking to like earth moons, earth risings, earth north nodes, like those kind of placements, or suns too, for sure. But definitely those kind of placements. Anyway, moving on. Air signs. 1024. Maybe I should have done this at the beginning of each element. Oh, well, it's fine. All right, air signs. Hello. So Libras, first and foremost, will be affected by this, but then Geminis and then Aquarians, meh, kind of, maybe not so much. I feel like Aquas are probably doing the best out of all the signs with all the energies we've had going on. But anyway, so the air signs, oh yeah, that's right, that's what I was feeling. Just gotta call a spade a spade. It feels a little bit like my air signs may be struggling letting go of the old. Just gotta call it how I feel it. So sorry, seeing stuff. I'm just gonna tell you guys because maybe this actually might be something that you guys need to hear for yourselves. So you know how we all got our team? We all got our team. I have astral cats that like to hang out and like watch over me. And they've just been around a lot. And so it's just like, you know, every once in a while, like I'll catch it in the corner of my eye. I was like, oh, hello. Anyway, they're just guardians. But coming back to you, air signs. Yeah, struggle to let go of the old. It almost has this feeling of like, we don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, I think is going to be your perspective or how you feel about it, whether it's like within a relationship or work, or, you know, maybe you're trying to make a decision on something and you're like, maybe I don't want to do it completely different. Like maybe there's a way to like bridge the old to the new. Maybe there's a way to like maintain, for some of you, I'm actually getting tradition. That's weird. Maintain tradition or the ways we've always done things, or some, it seems nostalgic to me, almost like Six of Cups. Like you don't totally want to relinquish something that you've always done, or someone from your past, or a situation that you have found to be familiar, or even a way of thinking. It's like I can feel it, like you're struggling to let go of it when we're really being pushed into the new. And I feel like some of you guys might try to find a way like around that, like a loophole almost. So it feels very lawyery all of a sudden to maintain that. How successful you'll be, I think, is dependent on everybody's situation. But yeah, I can feel that struggle a little bit. So I think out of all the signs, you might actually struggle the most of actually letting go of certain things that we're going to be asked to let go of this week. And Saturn Pisces has been doing that for all of us. But anyway, so those are my air signs. Fire. Hi, fire signs. Honestly, you're kind of leading the way this week because we have so much emphasis on fire, and then we do a lot of support on fire, just with the exception of the middle of the week with the moon, right? Excuse me. Fire signs, with the North Node being in Aries and being supported by Eris and Venus and Juno, amongst other things. Yeah, you're leading the way, honestly. The sense of passion and drive you're gonna feel is gonna be off the charts. Inspiration is actually something too that's coming up from, I just felt that inspiration will be coming up for my fire signs. It's almost like you're gonna be leading by example in a lot of ways for a lot of people. The only thing I would say is in the middle of the week, we're all gonna need some alone time to reflect on some things, to again have that insight of how to balance the passion, independence, and devotion. Lilith being in late degrees Leo, moving into Virgo, may definitely push you a little bit into the extreme version of passion and kind of like letting that almost overwhelm you, right? So in the middle of the week, I definitely recommend some alone time, some going within a little bit and just doing some like fine tuning on some of your stuff. Yeah, that's all I have to say about fire signs, honestly. And Leo and Aries, obviously, you're going to be taking the cake there. And Saggy, you might feel this a bit. Again, not too badly. And then water signs. Water signs. Gotta be honest, right? So water signs, I would say Cancer, Pisces, you're going to feel this way more than Scorpio. But Scorpio, I think you're still gonna feel it because we have like some fixed energy that's very much akin to you. Like Leo and Taurus are in the mix, so I mean, you are gonna feel this more so than like Aquarius or Sag, I would say. But water signs, it feels almost like a struggle to kind of get you out of, how do I want to say? The vibes is actually how it just came out, like to get you out of the vibes a little bit. I think you're going to be feeling the vibes and like emotions a lot this week, to the point where it's like you might actually not want to go out and do much. You might not actually want to feed your passion too much. It's almost feeling like a distraction. Like emotions may be a distraction for you this week. And at any of like my empaths or anybody who's like super psychic, and I forgot to write down the timestamps. Who cares? Anyway, um, I'm not gonna say you're gonna be drowning in it, but it's almost like I can feel it, like it's gonna be hard for you to shift out of that element a little bit to embrace more passion and embrace just being out and having fun without the getting caught up in the emotional stuff. Okay, I can feel a little bit of anxiety too with you, water signs. And actually getting the word worry. There could be some relationship changes that happen this week, or evident, thank you, that will become evident this week for my water signs. I can feel it. You're like, meh. Like, I knew, but I didn't want to know, or I knew, but I didn't want to deal. Yeah, I can feel it. It feels a little bit like a drag on your energy. Don't let that like put you out of the spirits of having fun. I actually want to say for my water signs, the homework is to go out and have fun, is what I want to say, or at least like have some fun at home with like something creative or something where you like move a lot is what I would say. But that's just what I'm getting. Anyway, so let's go ahead and break down the detailed astrology here. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a long video, I can already tell. And like also, I don't know why I feel the need to share this, but I'm just gonna share it. Doing these weeklies, I love doing them, but my God, it takes a lot of time because I have to look at all the aspects and understand them and then organize them in a way where explaining them to you guys is not too confusing. So it takes me a couple hours to prepare for these videos, and then it takes me a couple hours to do these videos. And then I like to make certain notes for myself with some astrology projects I have on the side after the fact. So when I do these, they're an all day thing. They are an all day encompassing thing, and I only record the one video. But I don't know if I feel the need to share that, but I'm just sharing. Anyway, so let's get into it. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Let's look at the fire. So this is going to be Venus and Lilith dominant. Obviously, Eris and Juno and the North Node are in fire energy too. And then Mars is really playing into this because it's in Libra. Okay. So for those guys who love to get into the astrology, I will tell you all the aspects, but then I'm just going to paraphrase as to how I feel this is going to be playing out. And I kind of already said it already, but for this week, Mars is sextile Venus and square Pluto and opposing the North Node and Eris. Eris and the North Node are tightly conjunct at 24 degrees Aries. So when I mention the North Node, I'm also talking about Eris. When I mention Eris, I'm also talking about the North Node. So to repeat that, Mars is sextile Venus this week, square Pluto, and opposing the North Node and opposing Eris. At the beginning of the week, it is still square Uranus along with Venus. So we do have that sextile with Mars and Venus that are still linking the two and almost trying to get, it's like so the sextile between Mars and Venus, it's like trying to get Venus and Mars to work together, even though they're both doing very different things. So I think that's a positive thing. Well, when it comes to Mars, we may have some challenges with Mars in particular, more so than with Venus, but they are trying to bridge with each other. Excuse me. There are opportunities to be had in trying to balance all these energies, like I said, your independence, your devotion, and your passion. Okay. That square to Pluto and the opposition to North Node and Eris, it creates this very strong craving for success and power and competition. So I would definitely try to set up this week to have certain things to like that you can work on where you can be productive, particularly like in the beginning and the end of the week, because the middle of the week definitely feels like emotional alone time. At least to me, that's what it feels like intuitively when I tune into it. But just know that that square between Mars and Pluto, it actually builds up through the course of the week and is strongest on the 8th. So if you got projects you want to do, if there's anything going on at work or any meetings you need to schedule, I would do it at the beginning or the end of the week. I would really avoid the middle, especially like around the 5th and the 6th. I would totally avoid that. And just don't get caught up in your ego. Don't allow the voices, right? Don't allow your ego to go, this person's out for me. Like, don't get paranoid. Don't and oh, this person thinks they're better than me. And like don't feed any like, it's interesting, I almost like codependent. Don't feed any insecure, competitive, egoistic energies this week. Just allow yourself to have outlets to be productive and to make progress on certain things that you want to make personal progress on or improve on in your life. Okay. I'm just gonna say that. The opposition between Mars and the North Node and Mars and Eris, that is also going to be interesting because while we have all this energy to like accomplish and succeed and do and make things happen, we're also going to have a bit of a struggle with it because Mars is literally supporting the south node, not the north node, even though Venus is supporting the north node. So you see what I'm saying? It's like Venus is supporting fire and Aries and where we're going. Mars is supporting what we're leaving behind. Mars is supporting the south node. Mars is supporting the old ways of doing things. So it's like, yes, Mars is like wanting us to be successful because it's working with Pluto in that way, and it's working with Venus. And Venus is like, we're going to do things this way. And Mars is like trying to do things that way, but still holding on to the old way. Still like wanting to like somehow take the old into the new. Air signs, be wary of this, especially my Libras. Especially my Libra moons, my Libra risings, my Libra chirons, my Libra north nodes. If you're going through a reverse nodal return right now, might be a little, it might, actually, I would say because Mars is in Libra, I would say my north node return people right now might actually feel the struggle of Mars more so than my reverse nodal returns. Because my reverse nodal return people, right? Everything that we are learning right now is stuff that you've already mastered, stuff that's already innate to you, and you're actually almost the opposite, right? Where it's like you're kind of, you're how do I want to say, relying on your innate skills now to evolve into what you are needing to evolve into. And with Mars supporting the south node, my reverse nodal return people, where your north node is Libra, you're actually, Mars is actually supporting you. So yeah, my Aries north node people might struggle a little bit with that. But so to come back to the collective message here of the astrology, Venus is supporting where we're going. Mars is not. Say it that way. Mars is not. So if you get any of like that old way of doing things coming up, especially when it comes to being successful or achieving in the old ways that we've defined success, might want to check yourself a little bit and kind of lean into your fire and kind of like examine that. All right. Mars being square Uranus at the beginning of the week, along with Venus also still being square Venus. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Venus being square Uranus, Mars being square Uranus at the beginning of the week is really still intensifying that need to be a rebel, that need for exciting and new and different, and especially when it comes to relationships, extreme independence, right? This can also lean towards affairs. And when I say affairs, I also talk about flings, short-lived relationships, short-lived encounters, unexpected. A lot of unexpected stuff is going to be happening this week still too because of this square Uranus activity and because the eclipses are coming up as well. Uranus always brings in the unexpected, so expect the unexpected when it comes to that too. But so there's that. At the same time, actually, I'm going to talk about Venus before I talk about Juno. Let's talk about Venus. Like I said, Venus at the beginning of the week is also square Uranus, that extreme rebel, independent, new, exciting opportunities, nothing mundane. Venus is trying the North Node and Eris. So again, it's really pushing us forward into how we assert ourselves, having our unique sense of identity, having autonomy, right? Also being like leaders in our own way, right? Venus by the end of the week starts to oppose Saturn and squares Sedna, and actually starts to work with Lilith and Regulus. Okay, that opposition to Saturn is actually going to be strongest on October 10th, the following week, but we start to feel it at the beginning of the week. I mean, not sorry, the middle of the week. My Mercury is all over the place. We start to feel the opposition between Venus and Saturn in the middle of the week. Okay, and it really gets strong on 10/10 the following week. That is a very lonely energy. That is a very sad energy. That is totally a going within energy, but it starts to kick up when the moon is in Cancer. Okay, and is actually supporting Saturn, supporting this go within, go within, go within, go within, go within sort of energy. When Venus starts to work with Lilith and Regulus, that is at the end of the week when the moon is also shifting into Leo. You guys already know what Lilith is about. It's freedom. It's freedom. It's sexual energy. It's our raw primal nature. Some people look at Lilith as like our personal shadow. I think that's subjective. When I feel Lilith energy, to me, it just feels like the raw primal animal within all of us. And then how it, like, how it plays into our charts or different signs, it can bring out different things. But when Venus and Lilith work together, it is all about your sensuality and creativity and just and going full throttle with it and really functioning from your sacral, actually, especially with all that Leo influence, even though it's shifting into Virgo. And then Regulus playing a role into that. It was interesting when I started to research Regulus as it plays with Lilith and Venus independently. It's like trying to put the picture together. To me, it actually looks like love and romance might not fare so well underneath that, because Regulus is asking for that regality, for that sense of honor, for that sense of integrity. But Regulus is also about hierarchical energies if you look at it from the other spectrum of things, right? So it could almost bring in the sense of entitlement for some people, right? Like I'm entitled to let myself function from a place of passion and sexuality and my sacral and what I want for myself, right? And for others, it could be quite the opposite, where it could almost create this like suppression out of integrity or duty or honor. So interesting how that might manifest differently for other people. But so that's something that's coming in at the end of the week. So you see what I'm saying, right? It's like we go from this like Venus trine North Node, Venus square Uranus, let's go, let's do it, to that opposition to Saturn and the square to Sedna and the moon in Cancer. And it's like, right? And then we go whoo, into like that Lilith Regulus energy that Venus is working with, right? All the while Mars is working with the South Node in Libra and like wanting to succeed, and but also working with Venus. So it's like that's how I was seeing it, where it's kind of like this up and down and up, like extreme and scattered and intense, and then like down in the ebb and being within and let me feel and let me reflect on this shit, and then coming to back into the heart and back into the light and coming back out into your passion and like, whoa, okay, let me balance this shit out. Let me figure out how to walk these lines of passion, devotion, and independence. And then we have Juno. Juno's in Leo, moving from 23 to 26 degrees, sextile Mars, conjunct Venus, and square Uranus. So you see the running themes here. And also, Juno is trying the North Node and Eris. So we have Mars and Venus and Uranus and Eris and the North Node and Lilith and Juno all playing with each other, essentially, you could say. And then Regulus gets thrown in the mix. But Juno is also linking Mars and Venus together. So we've talked about Mars, we've talked about Venus, and both are aspecting Uranus in the ways that I already discussed. Now Juno supporting Mars, supporting both Mars and Venus, but it's also itself square Uranus and is supporting the North Node, supporting the fire. So you see what I'm saying? Fire is getting way more support than air. The North Node's getting way more support than the South Node. The only thing supporting the South Node really is Mars at this present moment. So how all of this is playing out, Juno is about devotion. It's about marriage and bonded relationships. It's also about protection of women, right? Standing up for the neglected, the abused individual or neglected, abused feminine energy like Venus, which again, it's working with Venus. So the way that I was feeling this is going to be working out is when it comes to whatever it is that you're devoted to, you're obligated to, you're bonded to, whether that's through a physical contract like a marriage or a business contract, something of that sort, or whatever. I just got energy that flowed through my body. Oh, sorry, it's like going through all my upper chakras now. Or whatever you've poured your heart and soul into and said, I will do this, I will devote myself to this, especially if it's in the form of like a cause or a calling or a sense of purpose or passion, time to review and reflect, right? If your autonomy, if your independence is not supported by any of those things, you're going to be making some changes so that it does, or you're going to want to make changes so that it does. And some of these changes may be unexpected and involuntary to support all of those things. All of this is helping to bridge Mars and Venus. All of this is helping to find that middle between Aries and Libra, which is a good thing. It's just Aries has way more support than Libra does to actually do that. So a lot of passion, a lot of sensuality, a lot of indulgence, a lot of I'm gonna do me, screw the rules going on this week, but only to really come into that moon in Cancer in the middle of the week, feel the pull on our hearts for what it is that we crave, what it is that we emotionally really need and want, especially as it comes to family, domestic life, emotional security, relationships, love, romance, marriage, even tribe and friends and community, all the things, to come back out into fire and be like, I understand I can't do this all solo, or I understand that I can't just be all about me. Let's balance this, right? So beautiful. Now, as far as like where this could be affecting everybody in their charts, anybody who has strong Libra, 25 to 29 degrees, like late degrees Libra with personal planets, you're probably going to feel so much of that Mars energy, and you might actually come into that frustration. And like I was saying, what I was picking up on before, where it's almost like you can't get your foot out of the old. Like trying to get into the new, but it's like recognizing that there are certain things that you need to release or let go of, and you may struggle to do that. And there's something about tradition there too that keeps coming up as I tune into air energy. But 25 to 29 degrees Libra. And you also look to your personal houses to see where that pull on the past will be affecting you. I'm gonna say that again. 25 to 29 degrees Libra in your personal houses, that is where you're going to feel the tug on the past, or some old stuff comes up and you're like, why is this coming up now? I don't want to deal with this. That's also, thank you. They're showing me the 6 of Cups. We may have brief blasts from the past this week for everybody, not just air signs. But I feel like it's really brief. Like it might be a random text from somebody. It might be an email saying, hey, you never sent that check in for that thing or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's like the old reality is kind of seeping in a little bit. Like frustration. I can feel frustration in response to that. So that could be something coming up collectively. Now, Leo and Aries. Shocker. Leo and Aries, 25 to 29 degrees, a lot of activity in these houses, a lot of activity, a lot of passion, a lot of changes and fluctuations with relationships, potentially a lot of fun too, and a lot of inspiration and creativity. Just think of it as a very dynamic, very active house for both of them this week, okay? I'm actually going to throw Taurus in there too, 20 to 29 degrees, just because Uranus is like behind Juno and Mars and Venus. And I feel like whatever's going to be going down in the house of Taurus for us, again, like 20 to 29 degrees, 22 degrees being that peak point. This feels like just changes in perspective. Like, how do I want to say? Changes in our personal truths and our drives, our intentions, our motivations, our realities, yeah, it's like I'm getting like a lot of like third eye energy actually with that. I would expect to see that going on. Okay. Now let's talk about Mercury. Let's talk about Mercury. So Mercury is moving from Virgo to Libra this week. It looks like from 25 degrees Virgo to 6 degrees Libra through the entire week. Now, in the beginning of the week, Mercury's opposing Neptune and is trine Pluto. And then we shift to Mercury working with Sedna in a trine and then square Vesta. When I saw that, it was like, oh, I see. Hold on. Oh. Oh. Hold on, sorry guys. Ooh, thought something was on my ankle. So when I saw that, it's like Mercury opposing Neptune can bring some confusion, potentially. It could bring like foggy brain energy, but it could also bring a lot of downloads. Mercury trine Pluto, hella downloads, very strong discernment of your intuition and analytical skills and seeing the details of things, being able to figure things out. Mercury trine Sedna as we move into the energy, kind of the same thing. Like that would really help us to have this broader perspective of truth and embrace more possibilities of what we can do and like what's really happening, especially in terms of belief systems and communication. But then we get the square Vesta. That feels like struggle all day. So when I was looking at this, the note that I wrote down is sitting with new ideas, insights, and clarity versus deciding on anything permanently. This is not the week to make strong decisions, okay? Well, I'll put it another way. This is not the week to make permanent decisions. This is a week to experiment, to live a little, to allow yourself to go there and try things, and then sit with the things you've done, sit with what you've experienced, decide if like, oh, maybe, okay, I do like this, I do like that, like to feel things out And then out of this week, we're gonna go into eclipse season where there's gonna be so many changes anyway. There's gonna be changes that are gonna be continuing to happen. You can make some permanent decisions on your own right now if you want to. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying I don't see the point to, since change is gonna be like intense and constant for the rest of the month. And Mercury is just giving you options, is how it feels to me. Like, excuse me, like Mercury is expanding your consciousness. Mercury is expanding what it is you're able to see possibility wise. And when it comes to belief systems, and again, what's true, what's not. Ooh, I never considered that before. Ooh, I didn't know that I could do it this way. Or, ooh, I don't know that was an option in this relationship, right? It's like that's what Mercury is gifting us. I don't feel like Mercury wants us to like make choices right now based off that. It's like Mercury's like, hey, I'm going to open up some doors of insight and clarity. Sit with that as you will, especially in terms of any experimenting or fun or new experiences that you're experiencing right now. Okay? That's what that felt like to me, because Mercury square Vesta, that's going to potentially bring up some challenges when it comes to like personal callings and missions and your blueprint, your passions, like things that you feel that you want to devote your time and energy to in like the form of a soul calling basically, or a spiritual calling or a spiritual mission, like I'm born to do this kind of a thing, right? It can bring up some confusion when it comes to that. So while Mercury is giving us clarity and insight in other ways, seeing things differently in other ways, we may still potentially run into some fogginess when it comes to long-term decisions right now. So, paraphrasing, let yourself reflect and experience some new things, experiment a little, get out there, have fun and do your thing, and then sit with it and feel it out, feel how that feels to you. Does that feel right? Can you incorporate that, or was that just excessive and indulgent and impulsive, etc.? Come out the end of the week like understanding more of how to balance your passion, devotion, and independence and all that. And as we enter eclipse season, allow even more changes to take place and open your eyes to even more things, is basically what I'm saying. So you can expect a lot of this to be happening at 25 degrees Virgo to 5 degrees Libra. So if you have any like late degree Virgo placements or early degree Libra placements, you're going to really feel this mercurial shifting and opening, and right when it comes to your personal life. But look to the houses where you have Virgo 25 degrees to Libra 5 degrees to see where that could be affecting you personally. Okay? Saturn. Let's talk about Saturn, and then we're going to get into the collective read, because this is a lot. There's a lot. So Saturn. Saturn is still sitting at 1 degree Pisces, and it's retrograde still. It's going to move into 0 degrees relatively soon. I want to say next week, actually. Probably around like the 10th or the 11th, around the 10th or 11th, I'm going to say. Saturn will move into 0 degrees Pisces. Actually, around the time it goes stationary direct, because it goes direct on the 10th. So yeah, I'm going to say like the 10th. It shifts into 0 degrees. 9th or 10th shifts into 0 degrees. Anyway, Saturn this week is opposing Lilith, which means it's also opposing Regulus. Saturn is also square Sedna, and as a side note, Sedna is still trine Pluto. That's going to be very long term, because Sedna moves slow. Pluto moves hella slow. So that's going to be, actually, Pluto trine Sedna is going to be around for years. I'm going to say it again. It's going to be around for years, okay? Because they both move slow. But Saturn in this position, Saturn in Pisces, tries to teach us lessons in letting go, teaches us lessons in spiritual discipline, teaches us lessons in how to sit with ourselves, how to sit within ourselves, what loneliness versus being lonely is. No, God, sorry. What loneliness versus being alone is. Good Lord. There you go. Also can apply pressure to really nurture some creative talents like music and art, and or anybody who practices the spiritual arts or the healing arts. That's also partly what Saturn and Pisces brings in. But in this position with opposing Lilith, I mean, it's literally like the fight of wanting to be free and expressive and act on our impulses and act on our desires, and then we hit walls, right? Walls of authority. We hit those walls of the pressure that Saturn puts into place of saying, no, you can't like just be wild child all day. So again, we have a lot of this energy this week of like go and do and try and all the things. We may hit walls occasionally this week of red tape, of our bosses getting in our faces, or even our bodies not being able to hold up, because Saturn being in Pisces also can relate to health. More mental health than physical health, actually. I mean, unless we're talking like hospitalization stuff, but like hopefully that doesn't happen to any of you. But Saturn will definitely be putting into place some restrictions of like, we know you want to go out and like do this and experiment and have fun and just be free and wild and independent and autonomous and sensual and all the things and live passionately, live by the seat of your pants in a way. Um, but hitting walls that might stop you from doing that. And that might come up in so many different ways, like where you go and try and literally things happen and you just can't. Or again, something could be happening physically or even emotionally or mentally where you want to do these things, but like you just can't get yourself up and out of the house or up and out of bed. That is very much par for the course with Saturn and Pisces being at play. Or again, Saturn is authority. Even if it's not in Pisces, it's still authority. It's still superiors, right? Like bosses, governments, institutions, things of that nature that might be getting in the way of that too. And like I said, money may be a little bit of an issue or start to become an issue for some of us in the middle of the week, and that might actually intensify all the way up through the 10th. So something to be mindful of, especially if any of you have Pisces or Leo in your financial houses, like second house, 10th house, even 11th house, 8th house. Hopefully none of you have Leo or Pisces in the 8th house. That's like, because 8th house rules other people's money, like taxes. I mean, we ain't in tax season yet, but like, yeah, that's a thing. So allow space and balance, like I said, for feeding your passion and your independence, but also feeding devotion. Devotion to having alone time and self-care, devotion to your spiritual practices, devotion to certain people and certain relationships or certain family or tribal situations that there's nothing wrong with wanting freedom from those things, but we can't be completely free of everybody, right? That's not sustainable. That's not a well-rounded way of living. We are communal creatures and we do need community in some way, shape, or form. So just know that Saturn might cause some restriction there for some of us and some frustration as a result of that. Okay. I would say this is going to be affecting us from Pisces 0 to 5 degrees. So if you have any super strong placements at Pisces 0 to 5 degrees, you're going to really feel that Saturnian energy to like go within, go within, go within. And to also realize that there may be some certain things that you need to let go or relinquish when it comes to balancing your passion, what it is that you're devoted to, and your sense of autonomy and independence. Okay. And of course, look to that in your personal charts for where that could be affecting you. Okay. All right. We're ready for the collective read. I am. I'm just going to get rid of all that. Okay. Whew. I know. Almost feels like we need intermission, right? That was a lot. That was a lot of talky. Actually, I'm going to start this at... I guess that's fine. I'm just going to get a little sip of water before I start. Really feeling the pull of the heart. Leo is also heart energy, but the moon in Cancer, that I cannot get off of the moon in Cancer. And remember, we do have a little bit of Vesta energy too, and Vesta is also Cancer. I keep feeling consequences. Some of us, okay, thank you. They're giving it to me in a lot of different ways. Some of us may come to terms with the consequences of our actions in the middle of the week, but also in turn, other people we've known may as well when it comes to things that have happened between you and them, right? So let's say someone did some shady shit. Maybe it was a family member, because talking about Cancer, did some shady shit, right? Middle of the week is probably going to be a good time to talk about those things, unresolved things, shady things that have happened. It's funny because my message for last week was hearts don't lie. I'm kind of getting that vibe a little bit. You can't escape your own conscience. You can't escape your own conscience. are the Jiminy Crickets of the world coming out. It kind of has that feeling a little bit. It's got a little Jiminy Cricket vibe in the middle of the week. I can't get away from the middle of the week. It feels like a being sucked in kind of a feeling. Whether there are consequences of things that have happened in the beginning of the week or way prior, right? There's just, yeah, I can feel it. There's a real coming to terms with the self, coming to terms with, yeah, what you've done, what people have done to you. And because we're getting a little bit of this blast from the past energy, I think especially when we finish the post shadow for Venus on the 7th, that might really emphasize that to close some things out. Interesting. Anyway, we can get out of the middle of the week there. Any messages or insights for the collective for this week? I'm starting with the Spellcasting Oracle. All the decks that I use are linked below. Any messages or insights? For the collective for this week? Yeah, it feels emotional. It does. It feels emotional. It feels emotional. There's something about Regulus too that I feel like is commanding. Like, I don't want to say it. Yeah, commanding. There's something about Regulus working with Venus, working with Lilith, opposing Saturn. It's like it's commanding answers, or it's like commanding integrity. It's commanding accountability to this week. Justice, almost. I got chills when I said that. Any messages or insights for the collective for this week? They keep bringing it back to the moon in Cancer. When the moon is in Cancer, the moon will also briefly be working with Jupiter and Orcus in a supportive way. What day would that be? I want to say that would probably be the 4th? No, the 5th. The 5th? Or the 6th? Oh, it's murky. I know, of course, it's going to be different for all of you, right? Depending on where you are in the world, because the moon moves so fast. Finding. I gotta get back to this Orcus Jupiter message. When the moon is like Cancer in the teens, like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 degrees, it will be working with Orcus and Jupiter. And something about that feels like justice. Feels like justice for family, justice for bloodlines, justice for the home, justice for the heart. For the empathetic hearts. For the empathetic hearts. For the empathetic hearts. But finding coming out. I love this card. It just feels so gushy. This is a card of literally feeling at home within the self, feeling one within the self, feeling complete within the self, feeling all that self-loving energy. I think that there's a lot of energies to support that, right? It's like Aries and Leo are supporting the independence, the autonomy, the I'm gonna be me, right? Cancer is supporting healing and also self-love. Cancer is all about self-love. And then the moon moves into Leo, like right after that. So I love that that's the first card coming out for the collective here. There is a lot of healing to be had in that card. Ooh. And then we get boundaries. Remember that energy I got in the channeling where it was like, oh, coming to terms with certain things. Coming to terms with certain things. I like this though. So while there is this beautiful feeling great within the self, feeling good about the self, and a lot of that self-loving energy, the I'm gonna be me, I'm gonna be autonomous, regardless of expectations or what's going on in the external, that is beautiful. But then boundaries, right? Boundaries come in, especially in this deck, when there is some stuff kind of going on in our external that could take us away from that or have distracted us from this. And that is something I was getting a little smidgen of, especially with my water signs. I was feeling like this realization. But it's something you've been aware of, but like have avoided coming to terms with, that you gotta let some things go. You gotta let some people go, or some circumstances go, or some narratives go, or some behaviors lifestyle choices go that get in the way of this, that get in the way of how much you can be you, how much you can love on yourself. If there are people that don't allow you to do that or don't facilitate like a safe environment for that, then you know. Or a job that like forces you to do something that you don't want to do or forces you to be someone that you're not, then you know. Or family that does that, then you know. Right? You understand what I'm saying, right? It's like, thank you, Regulus. This is like the accountability of Regulus. How accountable can you be to yourself, right? In a way where you can still have your autonomy, your independence, and your passion, but you're still devoted to. You're still devoted and active to things that also nourish those parts of you, relationships that nourish those parts of you, jobs that nourish those parts of you, right? If you are taking your devotion and putting it into people or things that don't do that, that don't allow you to be you, don't allow you to love on yourself, where is the personal accountability there? Where's the integrity there? That's what Regulus is like, hey, hello, as it's opposing Saturn, right? And working with Venus and with Lilith. So you guys understand what I'm saying. So quick paraphrasing, because I know I can talk a lot, right? Being accountable and having integrity of where you put your devotion, your love, your energy, your time into certain people, situations, jobs, paths, etc., 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 even like personal lifestyle choices, right? That support all of who you are, support your freedom, support your passion, support your autonomy, support your independence, how much of that you're doing and versus how much you're not. That's why boundaries is there. And I can feel it. These are not surprises. They're not shocking. They're not shocking at all. Okay. Anything else for the collective? On the bottom, we have prosperity. We like seeing that. Interesting. So these cards, I don't read them in reverse, but travel was in reverse, which I think is very strange. But prosperity, and then we have travel. Travel to me just feels like a movement, like whether something's moving or something feels restricted. Remember what I was saying too, where we might have a sense of restriction that kicks up in the middle of the week and intensifies through up through 10/10, 10/11, around that time, right before the eclipse happens, right? All around our sense of prosperity. Prosperity is basically like abundance, right? It's like prosperity is almost how I would say it's like the expansion of abundance, I think is like the best way to say that. Depending on where you're at with this, how much you're having that personal accountability and integrity of what you're devoting yourself to that either gives you this or hinders this, will either give you this or hinder this, right? The more you devote your time, your energy, your emotion, your love into things that provide you this, the more prosperity you're going to have, the more freedom you're going to have, the more passion you're going to have, the more independence you're going to have, the more just full on harmony and balance you're going to have. And the more you don't, the more stifled and restricted you're going to feel, the more stuck you're going to feel. Okay. Interesting. Let's move on. That feels like such a quick collective read. But it felt so clear. Right? It's very clear cut. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the elements. All right. Who's going first? Air, fire, water, earth, air, fire, water. Ooh, earth, earthykins. We're gonna start with you. Are you frustrated? Something about your energy feels a little stuck. I always like to start with the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Something feels muddy with you guys. Like literally your feet are in tar or they're in mud or something. Something about you feels stuck. Are you aware of this? I feel like you are. I'd be shocked if you weren't. It might not even be that, like, in your whole life you feel stuck. It could be in an aspect of your life something feels stagnant or stale. Um, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. All right, again, gotta call a spade a spade. Earth signs, it feels like you've been ignoring or in denial about an aspect of your life where you have felt very stuck or very held back. This could be in terms of work. This could be in terms of your health. This could be in terms of money. This could be in terms of a lifestyle choice, or even like where you live or your environment. This could be in terms of family or relationship. You got to discern which one it is for you. But it feels very much like something's been holding on to you, or you've been holding on to something and you've been in denial about how much it actually holds you back. Could even be a belief system. I can feel it. My feet are like, my feet are like all tingling. Because it is like the feet that like they keep showing me, that could be roots, right? So that literally could be like a family thing, or like even like a karmic thing, like a karmic lesson thing. I feel like it directly ties to your sense of security. Like you've allowed yourself to be in denial about it or not really pay attention to it as much, because it actually feeds a sense of familiarity or even a sense of security. But I want to say, right, it's like things that are secure can easily become chains, right? Things that we're tied to that make us feel safe can easily make us feel imprisoned, right? It's a fine line. Any messages or insights from my earth signs? Time to get uncomfortable, earth signs. Earthworm. Earthworm is the 0-point card for me. It is something so foreign and so unfamiliar, and it makes us uncomfortable, but it also kind of has a bit of a Fool card energy when this card comes out. Getting out of this tar is going to feel uncomfortable, okay? It's basically asking yourself to go where you haven't before, or to experience this aspect of your life in a way that you haven't before, in a way that makes you feel kind of not so secure. It's like taking the safety net away. Any messages or insights for my earth signs? Woo! I just heard lesson. Cobra. When the cobra comes out, there's a few things I can usually pick up on. Sorry, I got an itchy bug bite. Sometimes this feels like a learning energy, like a mentor-mentee energy. Sometimes it just feels like an observation or needing to pause and needing to wait. But I did hear lesson, so that to me says learning, right? Whether it's you're just the mentee of the universe. It's kind of how it feels, to be honest with you. Sometimes this comes out as a guide as well. Yeah. This feels like spirit or even Saturn energy being like, hello, earth sign, earth to earth sign. Are you going to deal with this or not? Are you going to honor this or not? Are you going to go there or not? It has a sense of pressure to it. Like, take the risk and take the safety net away. Get your feet out of the tar. There's something very firm about it. To me, it definitely feels like spirit, or like a spirit guide almost. And again, this could even be representing Saturn Pisces being like, let go. Let go of that safety net. Let yourself be uncomfortable. Do it, and do it now. Right? Whew. Any other messages or insights for my earth signs? The eyes, my God. It just feels like so much pressure. I'll show you guys in a second. It's got chills all down my back when I saw the overall energy. Wolf. Look at that. Look at the eyes on you, earth sign. It almost feels like a dare. It does. It almost feels like a dare from Saturn or spirit being like, are you ready or not? You ready or not? You doing it or not? Come on. Any day now, any day. This could, with Wolf and Cobra, this could totally be like a guide that's also an ancestor, like an elder. It has elder energy to this, being like, Earth sign, you're doing it or you're not. It's so firm. It's so firm and totally feels like a challenge of you jumping or not, taking the feet out of the tar or not, doing it or not. It just keeps coming out the same way. Wolf energy is actually tribal energy. It's community energy. Pack energy, like where you fit in the pack, is often like how I feel this wolf energy. So, oh, Earth signs, you may be feeling pressure by a group or an actual mentor. I keep feeling spirit. I keep feeling spirit guide, or like spirit is like behind this pressure, almost like divinely orchestrating this for you. But as I just said that, it was like, whoa, I felt it. Thought I just heard a little knock confirming that. Like, are you with us or not? Ooh. Ooh. I don't like the way that makes me feel in my stomach. Are you with us or not? Some of you, this is about setting boundaries and getting away from a group, a community, a family. Some of you, it's about joining one. It all depends on your personal journey, right? If you've been hanging out with a group or a community, right, and it's like you're finally coming to terms with realizing like, oh, you know what? They're holding me back, right? Time to be uncomfortable and get away from the safety net and jump and get away, right? Or if you have like some newer people in your life or a new community or group in your life, and it's like you haven't totally assimilated, or I didn't want to say it like that. There's something that feels so icky, but I'm seeing tar, right, around like the feet. So that makes sense, right? Tar is icky. It feels gross. This is all about getting out of the ickiness. Ouch. Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. Whoa. Ow. Okay, that was weird. Ow. Ow. As I was saying that, it felt like something was pinching my right ankle. Oh, I did not like that at all. This is about getting out of the ickiness. So, is the ickiness because you've been dealing with a group of people and it's because of them? Or is the ickiness because you want to deal with a group of people and you haven't allowed yourself to? Overall, talk about icky. Scorpion, shark. And then you get beaver underneath that, which to me is about like work, consistent effort, devotion. But shark and scorpion in the overall earth signs, shark is a perceived threat, whether it's real or not. Scorpion is literally the card of like holding on to things that are painful, allowing yourself to hold on to things that are not good for you, which is exactly what I'm seeing with the tar. So earth signs, I'm going to pull more cards to see how this is going, but it's very clear to me, this is about getting out of the ickiness. This is about getting out of your own way. Whether this is a group you need to get away from, or maybe there's some like things that you need to move past emotionally to allow yourself to deal with a group of people, right? It's going to be different for all of you guys, but scorpion and shark are very clear. There's ickiness going on that is not good for you. It is detrimental to you, okay? And you need to discern, and you will be challenged. I mean, it's coming through so clear in these cards. You're going to be challenged to do something. I don't think you're going to stay in the ickiness. I don't think you are. I think the challenge is literally like, are you getting out of the tar or not? I keep getting to that it's like it's circulating around a group of people or community. So the group or community could have fueled emotional experiences or narratives that you need to actually break away from, right? Then that's the ickiness. For some of you, it's the people themselves are the ickiness, right? So take it as it resonates. Let's pull cards. Wow. That's all I gotta say. Wow. We're gonna go Tarot Nefertari on this one. Actually, oh no, okay. I was like, I thought I had 4 tarot cards out here. I do, okay. Did I miss one? I did. Oh my God. So you know how it's just funny how things happen. So there was a card that I left in the box, the Five of Pentacles. Remember what I was saying earlier in all the astrology and the channeling, right? It's like there's gonna be like a Five of Pentacles energy in the middle of the week. It's gonna feel icky. Icky, icky. Right? Anyway, Jesus. Any messages or insights for my earth signs pertaining to this spread? God, I can feel the challenge here. It feels like the universe is staring you down, or someone is staring you down. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It feels almost confrontational, which I'm not saying spirit's confrontational, but it's like it's literally confronting the ickiness, right? Like the ickiness is confrontational. Any messages or insights? Any messages or insights for my earth signs this week? One more. For Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. God, it's so clear. With Cobra, we have Eight of Pentacles. It's about where you're devoting your energies. Remember what I was saying about the collective read, right? It's like wherever you're devoting your energy to, it should be nurturing your passion and your independence. It should be nurturing you, right? What you're devoted to should be just as devoted back to you and nurturing you. And it's coming out with Cobra remember I got the word lesson. Have you learned your lesson? Have you learned yet on what happens when you devote your energy to things that are icky and when you devote your energy to things that feel good, right? How much ickiness that you're still holding on to or attached to is clearly something you're actually giving to. So the ickiness is active. It's something that you are feeding or devoting or attaching yourself to in some way, whether it's a group of people or it's like a narrative, a thought form that you're still feeding that potentially was tied to like family or a group of people or your past emotional experiences. Whatever you feed and focus on comes right back to you, right? I was mentioning too in the last week's message that law of attraction is something that's kind of important right now. That's basically it too. Law of attraction, right? What you give yourself to gives back to you. But it's like if you give to something icky, you're gonna get icky back, right? Any other messages or insights from my earth signs? Wow, so clear. The earthworm with the Eight of Cups, walking away, getting out of the icky. Eight of Cups is leaving behind emotional ties, emotional investments. Remember what I said? You've been giving to this. You've been devoting to this. And 2 8s, by the way. Ooh. Very synchronistic with the 2 8s there. Eight of Cups also comes out when it's something that is not necessarily so easy to walk away from. But I like that it's upright though, because both of these upright, I mean, it's indicative of making the actual choice to walk away from the icky. Okay. Anything else for my earth signs pertaining to this spread? Any other messages or insights from my earth signs pertaining to this spread? Got 2 more cards out here. Beautiful overall energy. Wow. Is that justice? No, it's strength. Yeah, that's what I figured. So on the 8 of Cups, we do have strength in reverse. You got to be brave. You got to be brave, earth signs. This is indicating that you might be struggling to find the courage to break away from the ickiness, whether it's like negative self-talk, lifestyle choices, a group of people, a person, whatever that is like keeping you stuck. You got to be brave. That was part of last week's message, time to be brave. Time to be brave here. This ickiness, I think, has also had some sway over you, some influence over you. Also partly why it hasn't been good for you. And then with the wolf, we have Knight of Swords in reverse. So Earth signs, clearly as the energy stands now, and things are always subject to change, but I'm recording this Saturday, the 30th, right? Yeah, the 30th. As the energy stands now, Earth signs, it seems like you're struggling to make that choice. It seems like you're struggling to acknowledge the truth and get out of the icky and do what you got to do. You got to find the strength, is what it looks like to me, and be very real with yourself on your devotion of time, energy, resources, emotions, all the things, right? The Knight of Swords in reverse with Wolf, it also says that you're not speaking up, that you're not speaking your truth. Could also imply that there's some drama around the situation if it is about getting away from a group of people or even assimilating to a group of people. But yeah, the Knight of Swords in reverse, like it feels like not speaking up. It feels like not speaking up at this time. Overall, we have Nine of Pentacles with the World in reverse. Ooh. With the King of Cups. I knew I felt the Justice card. Yeah, with Justice in reverse. So yeah, overall, I know it's kind of hard to see the cards here because it's like not typical tarot, right? But your overall energy is the Nine of Pentacles, which I do like for you. You literally have the 8 on the board, which leads to the 9s. There's an Ace of Pentacles here, an opportunity to act with integrity, honestly. Pentacles to me also represent integrity, especially with the 9 of Pentacles being out here, because this is integrity of self, this is independence, this is confidence, this is self-esteem. But behind that, the World in reverse, the King of Cups, and Justice in reverse. It's like, how do I want to say this? There's a battle here between Hearts and Pentacles a little bit, is what I'm feeling, where it's almost like you're more willing to honor the practical, the material, the physical, than the soul, than the heart, than the emotions. It's almost like with the King of Cups, that's the mastery of emotions. That's like having integrity of soul is not being honored here. But the material part of your life is. But the 9 versus a king, the king should be winning. You understand what I'm saying? Especially with the World in reverse and Justice in reverse, that to me just says resistance to the right thing, resistance to integrity, resistance to letting go of the ickiness. The ickiness for some of you may actually have been helping you maintain your physical reality. So it could be a work situation or a money situation, or if it's like relating to a group of people, maybe they help support you financially, right? And you're like, I don't know. Or if it's a job that supports you financially, and it's like, I don't know. When deep down you do know. When deep down you do know. And it's just been hard for you to make the choice. I wish you luck, Earth signs. This is a toughie. This is a toughie. Can't lie. All right, let's move on. All right, who are we doing next? Air, fire, or water? Air, you're grabbing me. Let's do it. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I'll just drink you. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It's got really weird stuff coming in visually. I was literally seeing cartoons. Okay, that was I don't think I've ever seen cartoons before. That to me screams inner child. Gemini, yeah, I just strong inner child energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, like to be a kid again, wanting to be a kid again. There's something about wanting to be a kid again or revisiting childhood memories, that kind of 6 of Cups energy that I kept mentioning, right? There's something about that coming up here, air signs. There's something about the past or your like literally your childhood. There's an aspect of it that I feel like you want to reclaim, not let go of, continue to hold on to moving forward, which I think is actually a good thing. It's like, it's good for us to be in touch with our inner children, right? It's good to be in touch with that ability to play and frolic and be curious and right? It's like, it's important. Oh, buddy. Clyde just sneezed a hell a lot. You okay? Is he going back? He looks like he's going back to sleep. Anyway, sorry. Um, it's good to be in touch with that part of ourselves. It's good to be in touch with that part of ourselves. There's something about that energy too, where it's almost like you want to hold on to this aspect of self or these memories or this like the kid childlike feeling, the playing, the frolicking. Because it does bring more joy into your present moment. I keep hearing harmony, almost like if I hold on to this, or if I can continue to do this thing or this activity or whatever it is, then I can always have some sense of joy in the present, no matter what things you got to do. That's how it's coming through. Wow. Okay. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Some of feel a little trickster energy now. Some of you may be trying to like encourage this energy within a situation or within a relationship, because it's almost like if we just like hold on to joy and laughter and fun and our inner children, then we can mellow out. We don't have to take things so seriously. Then we can work this out or we can resolve this. It's like you're almost like playing devil's advocate or being mischievous and like trying to bring in that childlike playful energy into the room, into the environment, into the situation, into the group, into the relationship, whatever it may be, because it's almost like you're trying it feels a little like trickery, like as a distraction, and then that way it's like again, you don't have to take it so seriously and we can like resolve things or we can harmonize things. Like that's what I'm feeling. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Interesting. So Beaver's kind of serious sometimes. Beaver is like consistent work, effort, it's devotion. It's devotion to something and being consistent with it. I gotta be honest, feels a little humdrum. Feels a little routine to me. It feels like very practical Virgo. Not to say Virgo, you're humdrum. You guys can be very exciting. I love all my signs. But that's what I'm getting. Like practical humdrum routine, continuing to do the thing day in, day out. I do A, I do B, do to get C. I do A to B to get B to do C. I do A to do B to get C. Like, you know, that's how it's feeling. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Whoa. I can totally see that energy. Sea serpent with the horse. If I bring in the play, sea serpent is sacral energy. And sacral is play, it's passion, it's fun, it's excitement, it's creativity, it's sexual energy, right? And a little bit of inner child, especially if you get like solar plexus energy mixed in there. And then horse is mastery of earth. It's like, right? Like things don't have to be boring. That's what I'm getting with my air signs. Like we don't have to do things the way we've always done them. We don't have to do our morning routine every day the same way. It's like almost like you want to break up the monotony of like a work situation, of a situation. I'm going to say a situation or relationship, or even just the course of your life. It's like, let's make these things exciting again. Let's make the mundane different and exciting and new and passionate and kind of sparkly and kind of fun. Like that's what I'm getting. And actually, it will help to elevate you in how you're dealing with your physical plane, or how you're dealing with whatever this is that's been so mundane. There's something about it that actually matures as you bring in more passion and more play and frolic and inner child. It's almost like you need the inner child to actually have more maturity in a situation, to mellow something out, to have it be more developed and also just exciting. Interesting. I just got fire really strong. You could be doing the fire sign, could have fire in your chart. This is definitely bringing fire and like excitement into a situation though. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini, Libra. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're, okay, you're shaking things up. You're definitely shaking things up here. So now we have elephant. Elephant, there's the fire. Elephant comes out when we are breaking through restrictions. When we're saying we're not going to be held back in the same way, we're not going to be restricted in the same way we always have been. We're moving past this shit. We're getting over this. We're getting over this. And I keep feeling like something's touching my leg. Sorry. You're breaking up monotony. You're breaking up the boredom. You're breaking up the way things have always been. And you're making shit exciting. But it feels like you're using your inner child as inspiration. You're using play, fun, sensuality, creativity as inspiration. And then we have the golden heart. We have the heart chakra coming out here. It just really elevates whatever this is that you've just been too routine about, or that's just been very lackluster. Again, it could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could literally just be how you're going about life. And you're just like, this is so black and white, where's the color? I'm gonna bring in the color. I'm gonna bring in the color. I'm gonna bring in the passion. I'm gonna bring in the fire. I'm gonna bring in the heart. And then overall we have black egg with crow. It seems like this is gonna start with a conversation. Or like I keep getting this very mischievous, like you're initiating this air sign, and it seems like it's gonna start actually with the throat. Like the whole processing of what needs to change is happening internally, but it doesn't get started until you kick it off. And it seems like you're kicking it off by initiating some kind of conversation or communication here with crow and black egg. Crow is the card of magic. It's also a card of alchemy, magician, trickster, right? It's like, it's how we change things and transmute things. And you're doing it through the throat chakra. You're doing it by speaking something into your reality, or again, starting some kind of conversation here. And it could even just be as simple as, I can't keep doing this the same way. It could be as simple as that. Or it can be as simple as like, this is kind of boring. Can we do something different? Right? It can literally be as simple as that. And it's just like, when you're allowed to, when you take the reins and you speak it into your reality, or you have that conversation, or you initiate and you get the ball rolling, it's just like, it's pow. Okay? It's pow. It's pow pow. It's exciting. It's exciting. It's passionate. It's unexpected. It's spontaneous. And it lights you up. It's like your whole chakra system is getting lit up by just allowing yourself to do this. Your sacral, your heart, and your throat are all on the board here. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some cards for you. I normally, now I have hiccups. I normally save this deck for fire signs, but I'm feeling it for my air signs here. Any messages or insights from my air signs? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I can't get away from this mischievous energy. There is something mischievous and just like childlike, inquisitive sort of vibe here. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I feel like everyone's going to get the Five of Earth. So Five of Earth coming out here, but it literally landed on the sacral, the horse, and the elephant. So you're getting out of the Five of Earth. Some of you guys can be very sexually frustrated. That's something else that just came through. Don't mind me. Just playing with my piercings. Yeah, some of you guys are very some of you it's just sheer frustration of just moo like just black, white. I can't make that noise. Sorry, I tried. It was a failure. So you're getting out of the Five of Earth. You're getting out of this rut. You're getting out of this place of stagnancy, of just mundane. Yeah. On the Beaver, we have the Page of Cups. Again, a vocal energy. The pages are messages and like small communications, like seeds almost. Ooh, my heart. My heart, my heart, my heart. Page of Cups is also my card of innocence. Shit. And you do have the heart chakra on the board. The heart doesn't lie. The heart doesn't lie, air signs. Your inner child is like, I cannot do this shit anymore. Inner child is like, can we be real about this? Can we be real? I need some frolic. I need some fun. I need some freedom. I need some spontaneity. I need to run in the grass in the rain. Right? It's like I need to like play tag. I need to like play hide and seek, whatever it is. Oh, I can feel it. My heart is just like. Some of you may be going through a heart chakra opening during this process, and that's what helps to bring the innocence up and out. It's literally, it feels like your inner child's literally like fighting to the surface to be like, I need to be honored. The playful, passionate side of you needs to be honored. The emotional side of you needs to be honored. Ow, shit. It's just a very honest, like, I need to have a different experience now. Whether it's between you and you or you and another person. Like, I cannot do this anymore. Any other messages or insights for my air signs? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So on that 5 of Earth energy that you're just busting out of, right? We have the Knight of Earth. I keep getting there's a lot here of just like routine and mundane and actually responsibility. And the Knight of Earth also speaks of devotion. The Knight of Earth is the ride or die. It's literally like the consistent, reliable, practical effort, even if it might be slow going. That Knight of Earth energy, it's just like, it's like you've been so bogged down, air signs, in the right thing, the responsible thing, the safe, thank you. The safe thing. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's the right thing, it's the safe thing. You're so tired of it. You're so tired of the safe thing. And the Knight of Earth, like I said, it's like you've probably been in that safe mode. Some of you, it's actually been a survival mode. Because you felt like you had to. Maybe you have had a lot of responsibilities. Maybe you've had to show up a lot for another person or other people, and you're just like, I need to be free now. I need to be free now. I need to be a Knight of Wands, not a Knight of Earth. Like, it's just way too heavy on like the responsible, practical, boring, safe, black and white, day in, day out mode. It's just what I keep getting. And remember, the question of devotion is huge this week, right? It's like you've clearly been devoting yourself to responsibility, practicality, safety, or survival. And your inner child's just like, fuck this. Child's like, I want to like wake and bake and watch cartoons and play video games, and then go out dancing, and then frolic in the rain, right? It's like, that's kind of what I'm getting. Anything else for my air signs? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Now remember, there might also be a period of time this week where it might be a very humbling moment as we reflect on some of our actions. If some of you guys go balls to the wall, do your thing, reflect and sit with that after, and then decide where the boundary should be for yourself. Because I can feel that a little bit for some of my air signs. Like, there might almost be like, go super hard and then like learn how to rein it in to be balanced with it, to be balanced with your sense of fun. Whoa. Oh, there it is. Wow. Yeah, it's been too much, air signs. It's been way too much. Yeah, it's been way too much. On the page of water, we have the Devil with Beaver. This might be hard to speak on for some of you, especially if there's another person involved in this for you, because it's being very honest in how you've been really almost suffocated, how you've been really restricted, held down. For some of you, you may have even felt very controlled by your circumstances or by needing to show up in this way in your own life. Whether you did it to yourself, or it's because of a job, or it's because of another person. And it's just, you're just shining light on the devil. You're being very honest about the devilish energy in your life. And it's like, yeah, this is too much. This is too much. I don't feel like I'm living. Yeah, that's how it feels. I feel like I'm not living. Overall, we have the 3 of air, and there's the Knight of Fire in reverse, dying to come out. Woo! Queen of Fire, Emperor. There's, oh my God, talk about all the fire. Wow. You want what you want. You want what you want. First of all, the Knight of Wands coming out in reverse, you're suppressed. I mean, it's just coming through very clearly. I feel like the Three of Air is literally like covering all the fire. The Three of Air is discomfort. It also speaks of heartache and heartbreak, but it is at the core of it. It's a tension. It's a discomfort internally or mentally. So we have suppression with the Knight of Fire. We have Queen of Fire and then the freaking Emperor. I mean, I can't get away from how much fire I'm feeling off of these cards, right? Queen of Fire does whatever the hell she wants, right? It's also a very magnetic, attractive energy. It's a passionate energy. Emperor doesn't let anybody get in his way. He or she. It's that masculine energy of integrity, but it's also that energy of I'm going to go and do what I want on my terms because I run my own kingdom and I don't let anyone or anything tell me how to run my kingdom, right? Um, some of you, this also be coming through as sexual frustration. I don't know if I mentioned that before. Oh no, I did mention that before. Almost like you've been suppressing your libido. I don't even want to go here, but I mean, it's just something I am seeing and kind of feeling, especially with the devil being there, having a very honest moment, an honest conversation with yourself or another person, feeling like I've been doing this just out of obligation. With the Queen of Fire and the Emperor and the Knight of Wands in reverse and the Three of Air, could this also potentially be like I'm pining for a more interesting relationship? Absolutely. It could be the case. Doesn't have to be, but I'm just saying the cards can indicate that. At the end of the day, air signs, this is wanting to live. This is wanting to be free. This is wanting to live your life on your terms and not because you feel like you have to live a certain way because of obligation or duty or responsibility or needing to play it safe. And you're just, and your inner child slash your own sensual energy, your own like passion is like, we're changing this. We're changing this and we're going to go have fun now. Wow. Wow. Okay, moving on. Not the reading I expected for my air signs. Okay. Fire, water. Water. I feel like you're going last. We're going with fire. All right, fire signs. I do expect your reading to be fiery. How could it not be? Aries, Leo, they're showing me a walrus. I don't even know what to make of a walrus. Aries, Leo, something like that. Aries, Leo, Sag, walrus. There's something very peculiar about that. Walruses, it's hard to say even, could be coming up for you as a synchronicity. It's funny because it's coming up as like peculiar, but also at the same time kind of regal, kind of Leo-like. But it's a walrus. There's something very strong too about that animal. Hold on, let me just tune into this animal because it's coming up for a reason. Yeah, there's something very regal and captivating about this animal. And something very tough too, but also something very gentle, almost like a gentle giant. I don't know if that's what they're called. Maybe that is what they're called, gentle giants. There's a gentle giant energy with this walrus. It feels so Leo to me. Because okay, there's so many animals like this out there, like seals and sea lions, right? And all the ones in between, and all the different kinds of seals and sea lions and all the ones in between. So I mean, the thing that all these animals have in common, right? It's like they sunbathe a lot. They go and eat their food. They procreate. They usually are in herds they're usually in giant herds, right? But yeah, it kind of reminds me of lions and Leo's a little bit. Like they sunbathe a lot, they sleep a lot, they lounge a lot, and when they got to be fierce and ferocious, they're freaking fierce and ferocious, right? But they are also pack animals. This is just what I am guesstimating and intuiting based off my own information about other animals that are similar. There's something about this energy, fire signs. Are you watching out for someone? There's something protective all of a sudden coming in with that. There's something protective. or maybe you're feeling protective over someone, or maybe you're feeling protective over yourself or your life or your environment. It has this feeling of like, I will watch over you. Or someone could be acting like this towards you, like, I will watch over you. You could also have a lot of water in your chart. If you are a fire sign and you have water, that could also be why walrus is coming up. It's just a very interesting animal to come up. Anyway, moving on. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. Don't they have the tusks? I can't get off of this animal. I'm sorry. Don't they have the tusks? I feel like they have. They're showing me one with tusks, so I'm assuming walruses have tusks. Something about that. I'm getting pulled back to the protective energy with that. Like, watch out for the tusks. Like, watch out for the tusks. Maybe watch out for words. Maybe watch out for words, communication. There's something here about like protecting someone or being protected by someone, excuse me, and to be mindful, like to be mindful of something that could potentially be harmful. And I want to say it's through words. Any messages or insights, my fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. Yeah, I just keep getting this feeling of like literally a giant fat walrus just looking out for a harem or something, or like looking out for the herd. Like, I just can't get away from that visual, like super like, I'm standing strong. But gentle, right? But gentle. Suddenly my neck just went crazy. Aries, Leo, Sag. Aries, Leo, Sag. Interesting. Stingray, water energy. Stingray actually is very similar to the energy I was just describing. Stingray is literally described in this deck as having a backbone, being strong, but it speaks of emotional and spiritual resilience and strength. You see the chakra systems are all lit up here, right? Also, I find this energy to be very primordial. So I'm getting a lot of primordial masculine energy here. I've talked about that a little bit. Maybe I haven't talked about it on YouTube, but no, I've definitely talked about it on Patreon. I meant to do an Island Turtle talk about it. I have not. There's a lot of Island Turtle talk episodes I've been wanting to do, but things have been kind of crazy, so I haven't gotten back around to it. Who knows if I will, but so I've talked about primordial feminine. Now recently there's been primordial masculine energy coming to the surface to harmonize with the feminine, and I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that here in the Stingray. Yeah, yeah. Be careful of your words, and also don't get sucked into other people's words is what I'm hearing. Some of you may also want to be mindful about what you're manifesting by way of your spells, by way of your communication, and what words you're putting out there, what words you're using. Just be mindful of that. But yeah, I'm definitely getting this vibe of don't get distracted, don't get pulled in by other people and what they're telling you or what they're saying to you, or what they're or like if they're trying to bait you, or even if they're trying to like lure you in, like glitter, like, you know, what's that phrase? Not all that glitters is gold, right? Like, some people may be trying to literally like attract you, seduce you for ill-intended purposes, and some may actually be trying to like bait you with anger or whatever it is. I keep getting just a lot about words and communication with you. Stay focused on yourself, fire sign. Stay focused on yourself. Stay focused on your integrity. I want to say almost don't speak unless you absolutely have to. I feel like there's also a lot going on with you emotionally. Oh, I'm feeling my heart's hurting again. Getting like King of Cups energy again. There may be a lot going on with you emotionally as well at this time, and just stay focused on that. Not holding on to the emotion, but just observing, being the witness to yourself, being the witness to your own emotions of what is actually stirring within you, what is it you're actually feeling, and letting it go, but just observing what it brings up for you. I feel like there's nuggets of, oh my God, so much coming in for my fire signs. I feel like there's nuggets of truth in there of what matters to you, who matters to you, what you want to devote yourself to, who you are devoted to, and who's devoted to you. And so no matter who's talking up a storm around you, trying to persuade you or trying to lure you or trying to bait you, don't let that confuse you. The truth is here. I'm like, here's my heart. The truth is here. The truth is here. So practice that emotional and spiritual strength to stay focused on what the truth is here. Jesus. All right, let's keep going. And of course, there could be somebody, fire signs, that is coming into your reality or is part of your reality, or vice versa, that is taking on this "I got you" sort of role. Like, to be very, I'm getting it's more an emotional support sort of a way. Uh, and yes, there could be people who are perceiving a dance of divine masculine, divine feminine with another person at this time. Any other messages or insights for my fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sag. Yeah, there's so much about communication here. Oh, Beaver's out again. Communication is not just verbal, it's also digital, and it's also through writing. They just showed me a pen, so be mindful of that too. Beaver. The card that keeps coming out around devotion, right? Devotion of like practical devotion, what you're putting your energy, your time, your money, your resources into. Some of you, this is all happening in the workplace. Okay. Stay focused on what you're trying to build for yourself, right? And so when you get that emotional clarity on who's devoted to you, who you want to truly be devoted to, what you want to be devoted to, what is devoted to you and actually nourishes you and is actually helping to align you to what it is you want long term. Such a big message there. Stay focused on those things, okay? Do not lose focus. They're being so clear about this, fire signs. Do not lose focus on that. Do not get distracted. Don't get sucked in by what other people are saying. Even if people are trying to be helpful, you know who you are. So this is like, actually, okay, this is a big message. This actually should be a collective message, like a big collective message for everybody at this time. And this is something I've been saying for a bit, but I think it needs to be said again. Nobody should be telling you who you are. Nobody should be telling you what you can do, what you're capable of, what you should do. I mean, I'm here giving you my guidance that I'm channeling through spirit, right? I'm here to offer guidance. Don't ever take what I'm saying as absolute fact if you're not sure about it within yourself. You should always be your number one guru. You should always be your own reliance of truth, right? So it's like people, and that's the thing, people love to try to tell you who you are, right? That's just the thing that humans do. We're humans, we're not perfect. It should always come from you. All right, it should always come from you. And if someone's trying to tell you who you are, why are they trying to tell you who you are? Right? Right? Moving on. All right, fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sag. That doesn't, sorry, I feel like this needs to come to the disclaimer. That doesn't discredit if people are saying what you already know to be true about yourself, right? So if you are like super solid in your truth and someone's like, yeah, I see that in you, of course you would agree with them because it's already your truth. But if someone's trying to persuade you otherwise, why are they trying to persuade you otherwise? Swan, being whole and complete within the self. Being whole and complete within the self. And it did land on Stingray. It did land on Stingray. So I feel like that's just confirming everything that I just said to you, right? This is you being connected to yourself. This is you knowing yourself. This is you having that spiritual, emotional strength to just own all of you, all aspects of you, and not let anything distract you from that, or to be distracted and focusing on what will help to continue to nourish that for you. Okay. Can this indicate partnership? Absolutely. Especially with all this like divine masculine energy that's coming up. Could definitely indicate some kind of partnership that's at play for you as well. Overall, we have fish, go with the flow, surrendering to truth. A lot of water energy. You actually have all water cards here. You have all water cards, fire signs. Not what I expected at all. They're bringing it back to the fish. There's something about this flow that's, okay, the flow that I'm feeling is all internal. It's like it's not allowing anything to attach to you, or to you attach to anything else. It's also not allowing yourself to emotionally attach to your emotion to attach to your emotions, right? Like, let everything just flow. There's something about that fish energy, about like the internal flow of you, that also feels protected. This whole protection energy, like concealed, like there's so much going on inside of you that you don't, not to share. Words are coming out weird. Remember I kept getting that? It's like, watch your words, watch your words, watch your words, watch what you're sharing. You don't got to share everything with everybody about yourself or what's going on with you. There's something about this, like moving in secret, that's actually beneficial, I think, for my fire signs at this time. Oh, all right. Cards. Let's do cards. We're gonna do Midnight Magic. Hold on. And these are insights for my fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. Woo! Hold on, we got a couple cards out here. Oh my, oh my. Lovers and the World card in reverse. Doesn't the Lovers just scream the Swan? That alignment with self, and potentially for some of you a partnership. Again, if there's something going on with a partner in the midst of all of this, that's what you actually should be hush-hush about and not let anybody tell you anything about, like, of how to be in that relationship or that partnership. Excuse me. Something is completing here, fire signs. I keep wanting to call you water because there's so much water here. Something is completing. Some of you, it's a karmic experience, lesson, a cycle. That's how it's coming through, but it's all in terms of what is going on internally and what it is that you are devoting yourself to and focusing on in terms of this partnership, or in terms of this partnership of self, right? And having the accountability and wisdom to not share it with just anybody and their mama, right? To really keep some things hush hush there. Yeah. Wow. Some of you, especially if this is just between you and you, this is a true coming home of self. It's beautiful. For some of you, you've made a choice about a person, whether they know that or not. Some of you, that's a secret choice that you've made. I don't know if you're acting on that yet or not. Probably not. But not sharing it with anybody. All right, moving on. Any other messages or insights for my fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sag. Wow. The Moon in reverse with the Wheel of Fortune on the Stingray. That emotional, spiritual strength, that primordial masculine energy, and for some of you, a partner, right? There's a whole lot of clarity coming through on how to move things in the right direction for you, how to stay focused. How to stay focused on how to devote yourself to this relationship or a circumstance that is providing this sense of harmony and alignment and strength of self. Alignment with self, connection with self, autonomy with self. It feels so good. It feels like, yes, like a true authentic sense of self. And even if it's within the context of a relationship, like how you nurture that in someone and they nurture that within you. Oh, there's something bigger there, though. I can feel it. Because you have all major arcana, fire signs. You got all major arcana here, okay? Something about this, too, also feels like when it comes to the devotion, like a higher sense of purpose. Like a calling, actually. A calling, or realizing, yeah, what you want to devote yourself to in your life. Or within this relationship, or in your life because of this relationship, if there's a relationship involved. Some of you there is and some of you there isn't, so take it as it resonates. If it's just you, it's about you, right? And your calling and your sense of passion and your sense of purpose. You've made choices, you've completed something major, and you're moving in the right direction, and you're just thought I heard something. And you're doing it in a way where it's like a lot of you are moving in silence to stay focused and not be distracted, like maintaining the integrity of your container, right? Like no leaks, essentially, to things that could distract you or undo this for you in whatever way, shape, or form. It just feels really big. It feels really big. All right. See if anything else wants to come up for my fire signs. Oh. Anything else for my fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sag. Interesting. Knight of Cups in reverse on the beaver. I just heard not sharing is what I heard. Not shedding. Okay. Anything else for my fire signs? Ace of Cups. Oh, I just got the, so many chills. Yeah, fire signs. This is big. This is really big. Hold on, I'm gonna get all the cards out here. Anything else for my fire signs? You're so clear on this. Overall, we have 7 of Cups in reverse with the Ace of Swords in reverse, Chariot in reverse, and the Queen of Cups. You're good. So, okay. Okay. This is getting really clear. It's getting clear on how clear you're getting. Fire signs. It seems like some of you have been in a process where you've been struggling with yourself. It seems like some of you guys may have been struggling with your own shadow. Maybe some of you have been perceiving yourself in a low, in an ebb, in night energy, in dark energy, a dark night of the soul, some shadowy stuff. Maybe even a bit of a depression for some of you. Some of you, this has been happening in the context of a relationship, and it's kind of like, what am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do for work? What am I supposed to do about this relationship? How am I supposed to live? Almost feeling like, where do I go in my life now is kind of how this energy is feeling. Well, you get real clear on that. With the overall energy being 7 of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Swords in reverse, and the Chariot in reverse, these two energies speak to the confusion of which way do I turn. 7 of Cups in reverse, you get clear on it. With the Queen of Cups, it's a very emotional, intuitive, like, process. I'm going to say shifting, transformation that's taken place. Even underneath the Queen of Cups, we have the 4 of Cups, just further confirming where you've been emotionally, which has been in a place of being very unhappy and dissatisfied. If this is about a relationship, because I did get the King of Cups earlier and the Queen of Cups came out, this could definitely be about getting a relationship on track, because now there's true clarity in how important it is and how important it is to be aligned properly with yourself in order to align to a person or to a relationship. Now, this clarity comes through. This transformation starts to take place. This is big. This is not just an overnight thing. So this could have been something that started a long time ago or starting this week, but I think it's going to take months is how it's coming through, months to really complete this process. But once it's completed, the clarity on how to achieve success here is very clear. And what is the success? The success is the Ace of Cups. That the success speak is the Ace of Cups and the Lovers. It is the alignment of self with your own emotions, your own sense of fulfillment, your own happiness, and your own passion, and your ability to maintain that integrity, to maintain that harmony, and stay focused on things that will continue that for you. For some of you guys, yes, that is about a relationship. For some of you, it's about changing certain aspects of your life or a job. It's different for everybody. But then we get to the Beaver with the Knight of Cups in reverse and the Ace of Cups. This is the focus. This is the focus. This is the practical. I'm going to devote myself in this way. I'm going to do this work on myself with my shadow in this way. I'm going to work on this relationship in this way. I'm going to make these changes in my life this way, and I'm not going to tell anybody about it. I'm going to be moving in silence so I can stay focused on it, so I can achieve the Ace of Cups, so I can achieve this new experience of fulfillment in a way where I feel whole and complete, and I'm living according to what I want, and I'm doing it with emotional strength, emotional mastery of self, and especially if this involves a relationship where two individuals are aligned to themselves, and then they can align together. Wow. Kind of a crazy read. But that seems to be the theme of the day. Moving on to water. You got me nervous now because like every reading's been way more intense than I've anticipated. And the last sign is always like, not always, but usually the one who's the most intense. Yeah, so water signs, you got me nervous. Fire signs blew me out of the water. Fire signs felt like a water reading. It really did. Fire signs totally felt like a water read. So if you got any fire in your chart, or you're just like anything water I want to watch the fire sign reading, because that one was crazy. Whew, okay, one more sip and then we'll get started. Okay. Oh, my neck. Oh. Water signs. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Ooh, water signs. Immediately, I felt like I just dropped into like heavy water. Like a lot of emotions. They're actually showing me night. The night is what they're showing me. There could be a lot going on at night for you. You could be more active at night. There could be a lot going on with your dreams. Some of you could feel like you're kind of like what fire sign had, where maybe you've been in a darker period of time. There's something about night where like night is where you live right now is kind of how it's coming through. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So interesting. I thought I was seeing icebergs at first, but they're crystals. This is like okay, this is a very cryptic message. It's like I'm seeing like night and ocean, and then I thought I was seeing like icebergs, and it's like, oh no, I'm seeing like crystal rocks like floating in the ocean. Interesting. Some of you guys are doing some major astraling. I'm almost feeling like symbolically like they're showing me these like little crystal floaties, like floating islands of crystals as like little mini sanctuaries. Some of you guys are doing some crazy astraling at night. I'd really pay attention to that. You could be waking up exhausted. This is usually a good indication of that, or like waking up feeling like you just like literally lived somewhere else for a hot minute. There's something about these like little crystal havens. Some of you guys is really into grid work. I just keep getting it's like moments of sanctuary, moments of connection, moments of solace, like moments where you feel connected. They're moments. Moments where you feel connected, moments where you feel like you're in the light and then you're back in the dark again is how it's coming through. Jeez. And it feels topsy-turvy, right? Because I keep getting it's like you like for now you live in the dark, or for now you live in night. You're living in night, you're existing in night. And it's almost like at night you go to the light. I don't know, it's really interesting. Like day is night and night is day. This is a very cryptic message from my water signs. Something does feel upside down for you guys. Water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You could get really drawn to the stars at this time too. Galactic family sort of stuff, star family sort of stuff. I just got a glimpse of the frog. Some emotional cleansing and clearing may be happening for my water signs as well. Let's see. Wow. Well, if you've been a night, you ain't going to be a night for very long. Oh, sorry, itchy. Yeah. Phoenix and Bee. So if you've been in the night, you ain't going to be in the night for long. Phoenix actually represents the root chakra, being grounded, being stable, being solid, being sturdy. But this card also speaks of literally rebirths or phoenix risings, kundalini energy, right? Ascensions, awakenings. The bee, usually when the bee comes out, it indicates a lot of hard work, or literally rewards and blessings and gifts for the work that you've done. Sometimes bee also represents community. Water signs, I feel like this might be unexpected for you. Like, how do I want to say? They're bringing it back to the crystal islands. Like you've had all these moments where you feel like you've been here. You've had a lot of moments where you feel like I've arrived. I'm home. I'm in it. I'm in flow. I'm connected just to be thrown into night again is how it feels. You could have had many spiritual awakenings and not even have realized it, like many dark night of the souls and not have realized it. It just feels like a lot of false starts is what I'm getting from my water signs. But there's something about this time that feels different. Whatever next crystal island you're making your way to, or whatever like light moment you're making your way to, there's something about it where it feels solid, it feels more real, it feels like, yes, I have finally arrived now, no more false starts. The B, I keep getting work. I keep getting work. I keep getting that there's been a lot of work and effort that you've hope. Thank you. Hope. You've had a big test in hope. And faith and trust. And that's kind of what you need when you're in the dark, when you're in night or dark night of the soul or winter energy, right? It's like you can't see anything. You have no idea what's happening. It's like that requires a lot of faith. You've had a lot of challenges in faith, is what I'm getting from my water signs. But it feels like you're finally arriving. It's finally real. Something about it feels finally real. Of course, Vulture comes out, death magic, Scorpio, death to birth energy. Having Vulture and Phoenix out really confirmed that, like literally Phoenix rising energy, right? Like death and birth all at once happening. So fire signs had a major reading, and water signs, you got a major reading too. This is literally the card of night for me as a reader. This is the card of night. This is the card of day. You are transitioning, water signs. And water signs, you do live in the water, which is, in a way, darkness, right? You are coming back out into the light. You're making it to a crystal island, if you will. It feels like it's going to stick this time. That's how it feels. That's how it feels. I want to emphasize that. That's how it feels. Anything else from my water signs? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. I'm going to say this time is different because you're different. Something about you is definitely very different this time. Almost like, I feel like these are like opportunities that you've had to fully arrive and fully embrace. And that's why I think that's why I keep getting false starts, because it's like I feel like you've experienced this before, but something about it couldn't stick, couldn't maintain, couldn't perfectly align, because there was something about you that needed to shift. And it feels like there's something about you that has really shifted now, and it's actually happening. It's actually sticking. I think for those where this message is applying, you know what I'm talking about. There's something about you that is foundationally different. It also has this feeling too, like you've actually manifested a lot of opportunities, like, and almost in a way where it's like before it was time, before you were truly ready. That kind of goes hand in hand with everything I already said. Hawk. Hockey Hawk. Wow. Wow. Water signs. Hawk, fish, and cosmic egg. Cosmic egg is the crown chakra. Usually comes out when we're reaching a pinnacle of ascension or activation or spiritual development, growth, consciousness. Hawk is being divinely guided. Hawk is spirit watching over you, being very close to you and literally guiding you in certain directions. Fish is surrendering to the flow, right? Surrendering to the flow of things and how things are moving. Like the more you just let yourself be spiritually led, like the more tangible, the more this is going to stick, I guess is how I want to say it. Because it's almost like the more you allow yourself to be led, the more foundational transformative work is taking place within yourself, which means the more aligned you're going to be the next time you make it to a crystal island. That's how I keep getting it. Like you've been swimming from island to island to island, like crystal island to crystal island to crystal island. And it's like Goldilocks, like, oh, this one's too small, this one's too big, this one's too populated, this one's too desolate. Like something about it has not actually been in alignment with you, because something about you has needed to shift, and it feels like it's finally happening. Wow. Goosebumps, goose pimples. Let's pull cards. Using the runic tarot for this one. Oh, my throat's now going. Any messages or insights from the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio? There's something about this too, especially for my mystics. How do I want to say this? Like, for my mystics especially, like, you knew you were magic, but holy crap, you had no idea. You knew you were magic. Maybe you even knew that, like, my magic's, like, pretty strong. Or maybe you knew, oh, my magic's a little different. There's something about this foundational shift and, like, literally arriving, where you're like you get it. Like, you're just like, oh my God. That's me? Wow. Yeah. Water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. I also feel I feel a little intrusion stuff that's been like going on for you. That to me feels like just distraction. Fire, I think did fire sign have that? One of the other signs had it. I think it was either the second or the third one, like fire or air. Um, I feel people. Blech. Like people talking about you, people saying shit, like whatever, and it's almost been like poking at doubt or insecurity or almost like projecting that onto you. And it's like, nope, you powerful. Nope, water sign, you powerful. Any messages or insights from the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio? Any messages or insights from my water sign? Clyde is so cute. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. My little old man. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Interesting. Remember what I was saying is like projections and shit? Also about being in the dark. Sometimes when you're in the dark, things are not very clear. That's kind of the whole point about being in the dark, right? To have faith and to trust. Well, you're rising above that. The confusion, the muckiness, the things that haven't been clear, they're about to be real freaking clear to you. I keep getting this too about you water signs. You're going to see yourself so clearly. So clearly. Some of you may have even struggled actually visualizing yourself. I don't know. This is okay. This is a really weird message. I don't know who this is for. I think someone just needs this confirmation that this is free, that this is for you. How do I even explain this? Like, we all know what we look like, right? We all know what we look like, but almost like if you tried to visualize yourself, like you couldn't do it, like the physical self, like you couldn't physically see like yourself without like a mirror. I don't know how else to explain that. That's a very weird one. I don't know who needs a confirmation, but anyway, coming back, anything that you've been very unclear about, especially when it comes to you seeing yourself, going away. Again, rising out of it. Interesting. We have the Two of Pentacles here with the Ace of Swords in reverse. Two of Pentacles speaks to balance and decision making. When you're in night, when you're in the dark, it can be very hard to maintain your sense of balance. And I think some of you guys have been very murky on this. Like, what is your personal flow? How do you maintain balance of your personal life, especially with the Pentacles, right? That's like work and taking care of yourself and doing all the chores and the money, right? It's like that kind of stuff. How to stay on top of that, I think, has been a struggle for some of you guys. It just feels like not having sure footing, but this is the root chakra card, right? And you're gonna have very sure footing all like through this. Something about friends and allies keeps coming through. Again, like other people are like, I don't like the feeling of other people in your reading right now because I just feel like there's something about other people that just feels a smidgen distorted or like projection or just kind of like kind of icky. Kind of icky. Kind of had like, who had icky again? Earth signs. Earth signs had icky. Icky. Anyway. Any other messages or insights from my water signs? Water signs, y'all might have some grief that wants to come out. Three of Swords and the Ten of Cups. And it's interesting because I wanted to put it on the bee. I feel like it belongs to the vulture, but I can see why I wanted to put it on the bee of the different things I'm feeling off of this for you. This is heartache around my throat's like closing as I'm trying to talk about this. Oh my God, so much. Water sign, so much is coming in right now. First of all, I'm getting a lot of heartache. I can feel it here. It's just like, oh, don't talk about it. You could probably benefit from some throat chakra work on this. Oh my God. There is heartache and grief around what was supposed to emotionally sustain you. For some of you, that's family. For some of you, that's tribe, community, friend. Oh my God, friends. Yeah, water signs. This is something that I think is hard for you guys to talk about or acknowledge or release. It's almost like this is what's dying. Like this is what's part of being foundationally transmuted for you. Oh, shit. Yeah, see, the energy's like, don't talk about it. The camera just disconnected. Yeah, it's like, oh God, it's like pain and grief and maybe even a lot of just like bad memories around like, I keep getting like people and environments and circumstances that were supposed to emotionally take care of you, emotionally support you, be there for you. I keep getting pulled for a lot of us. That's like a lot of people who may be resonating with this is like family, friends, allies, community, that sort of deal. For some of you, I'm actually getting hopes and wishes and dreams, kind of like more like Nine of Cups, like star card sort of stuff. And that to me feels more like things that just didn't happen, actually, like lost hopes, lost wishes, lost dreams. And I feel like I kept getting pulled to the bee because for the bee, I keep getting a lot of hard work on your end, especially when it comes to hope and faith. So it's almost like the more work you've put into yourself and the more work you've tried to put into hope and trust and faith, it's like the more you've experienced a lot of pain or a lot of disappointments or a lot of letdown or a lot of like, I'm getting like abandonment for some of you guys, like abandonment by situations or people who were supposed to support you, who are supposed to hold you in who you are. There we go. There we go. In who you are. There's a lot of identity stuff that's wrapped up in this, that it's almost like sense of identity took a major hit, or sense of identity has been compromised or affected. I'll say affected. A sense of identity and self has been, and self-worth, thank you, self-assurance, adequate, insecure, these are words that are coming through, were compromised because of the lack of support of who you actually are from an emotional standpoint. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff going on in there. And again, I'm putting it with the vulture because that's where it wants to be. That's what's being transmuted. That's what's being released and let go of. That's something that feels very foundational to your experience that needed to be dealt with in order to align to this like crystal island. But again, I keep getting it's tied to the bee. The amount of work that you've been putting in on your path, on yourself, trying to get to the crystal island, trying to make it to the promised land, right? Trying to make it to where you arrive, right? Wow. Okay, let's keep going. Oh man. Oh. Whoa. Okay, interesting. So I'm not taking it, but I will show you. So I was about to like pull more cards, and then this was at the bottom, strength in reverse, and it fell and it showed the King of Wands. King of Wands is basically strength card upright. They're both Leo energy. Talk about a Phoenix rising. I mean, that's to me is like a rise in your personal power and in your confidence, right? Being all the things, right? That were compromised, self-assured, confident, secure, right? Not afraid to be gung ho, fearless, even fearless. And interesting. So let's see what comes out. Anything else? Ooh. Water. Okay, this is clearly for water signs who have walked a hard path. Okay. Shit's been real. I see it, water signs. I see it. Jesus. Wow. Oh my God. Yeah, there's major disappointments there. Okay, for some of you, before we get into the cards, there's something that came through auditorily. Sorry, I just got reminded of somebody. That's like a confirmation for somebody. That's like their way of getting confirmations. Anyway, blah. Getting back into this. Some of you, this feels very scorpionic to me, but you know, Scorpio's water sign. Some of you have had to like burn it all down repeatedly out of like having faith that it was the right thing to do is actually how it came through. So I don't know if that's relationships or jobs or like, you know, maybe you built up your life and then it was like you followed your intuition or just like out of like a leap faith effort, I gotta burn this all down and start again, or I gotta burn this all down and move, or I gotta burn this all down and be single or whatever. Something that just came through. So some of you guys, that's like a lifelong pattern of like having to do that out of having faith. But anyway, so with the Phoenix card, with Ace of Swords in reverse, the Two of Pentacles, now we have the Ace of Pentacles. So there is clearly a choice that is being made here too on your behalf, water signs. And this choice that you're making, this decision you're making, is all in the name of your own sense of stability, your own sense of security and abundance. For some of you guys, this is a second chance at something, a second opportunity at something. The Ace of Pentacles. Sorry, my throat is like so tight with you now. Out of all the aces, the Ace of Pentacles represents second chances. And that's what I was getting with you too, right? Where it's like a lot of false starts, and it's like, have I arrived? No. Is this the right thing? No. Da 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 da. And it's like you're finally arriving. But on the B, we got a lot of cards that landed on the B for you. Ace of Cups in reverse with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Disappointment of not arriving. Disappointment of not aligning to a certain opportunity, or thinking you've arrived and you haven't. Thinking this is it and it wasn't. And then we have the Hermit in reverse with the Death card in reverse. Some of you guys are going to have some grief that's got to be dealt with here. I feel resistance with this, to be honest with you. I feel like the disappointment and letdown of thinking you've made it, thinking something's the right thing, and then just repeatedly being let down over and over and over has you here with Hermit in reverse and the Death in reverse. And I keep getting, it's like, it's just this foundational thing. It's this foundational pain. For some of you, it's a foundational narrative that you have about yourself, about your story, about your journey that needs to be devoured and eaten away and transmuted. Hermit in reverse, this is avoiding going within. Death in reverse, this is avoiding death, avoiding a death process, avoiding a devouring of pain, of something that doesn't serve you. And it's these painful experiences of not having the Ten of Cups, of not being emotionally taken care of or sustained. For some of you, it may even be a perception of you've never been happy. I know that's heavy, isn't it? But some of you, it's the perception of that. You've already done a lot of work. Water signs, you got to just do a little more. Just do a little more. Okay. I know. I can feel it from my water signs are resonating with this. I know you're tired. I know your ass is tired. I get it. Just one more death. My throat was not like this with anyone else today. Just one more death. Just one more death. One more death. One more. Overall, oh my God. You're killing me, water signs. This has to be said. This is coming down to your identity of self. Okay? This is affecting your identity, how you see yourself. Okay? Which also ties into everything that you do. Okay, moving on. Overall, King of Pentacles in reverse. Eight of Swords. Oh, look. Six of Cups. Being trapped by the past. By our past experiences. For some of you guys, this feels so karmic. Some of you guys feel like you've been paying off karmic debt. And I think for some of you guys, that could potentially be the case. But that Eight of Swords around that Six of Cups, that is of your own making. That's allowing yourself to be haunted by ghosts, okay? By ghosts of past experiences, ghosts of past disappointments and letdowns, where you think it was it and it wasn't, and you think you've arrived and you didn't, or you thought you made it and you didn't, whatever, right? That's allowing yourself to be haunted. And then we have the King of Pentacles in reverse is your overall energy. This is where you've been at. This is a very ungrounded energy. It's also being focused on things that actually don't take care of you. It also has this feeling too of like the more you focus on the disappointments, right? The letdowns, the pain, the fear, the negative stuff, what hasn't worked out for you, the failures, the more you're going to experience that. So buckle down, okay? Go within water signs, have another death, and let it be what really needs to die, right? Which is this pain, this disappointment, this old narrative. You got to let it die. You got to detach from it being a part of your identity and a part of how you see yourself, so you can really get clear here, and you can actually like clear this out. Underneath that, we have Temperance, harmonizing and healing, reconciling even, okay? This can't be part of your foundation of who you are. Because every time you think you make it to a crystal island, this is just going to keep happening until you deal with this foundational challenge, issue, what have you, okay? Wow. Yeah. Okay. 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 All right. See how my throat all of a sudden is just like, la, la, la. Get real with yourself, water signs. Get real with it, okay? All right, I'm going to go. I love you guys. Take care. I hope you have an amazing week and amazing night, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.